What's up? Hi, Canna fam. Guess who's going live? It's me, Michelle. Am I prepared to go live? Well, that's a good question. And what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the effort to go live. That's kind of all I've got on my mind. Yesterday, it was the Emerald Cup. I should say that today is the last day. Get in that application if you want to be a judge, like I want to be a judge. So, definitely could do that. I noticed on my live yesterday that I was turning the wrong way and you guys could never see that I was wearing an emerald cup hat, as if you can't tell. As if you can't tell. But that's really what it is. Okay. Well, so we're going live. Why? To be more visible, to get our thoughts out, to advocate for cannabis lifestyles, to talk and to make new friends, really, honestly. And speaking of friends, let me show you a thing that I got from one of my friends. So shout out Kirsty, we can. Kirsty of Women Empowered Cannabis Advocate Network is an amazing grower, just like me, home gardener, grower. And she grew this jelly donuts that we are going to sesh on today. This smells so good. And what I admire about Kirsty's gardening experience, oh my God, it smells really good, really fruity, really kind of like wedding cake. You know what I mean? That cream, that cake smell, but very fruity. Jelly donuts, good one. What I admire about Kirsty and the way that she gardened this year is that she definitely took the time. A lot of people don't take the time. They don't watch their trichomes. They don't necessarily like understand ripeness in cannabis. That gorgeous nug. So hey, shout out Lumpies. Your girl had a very hard time pulling this together today and yesterday. I'm really hoping that as we get through 30 days of seshing live, that like a California cannabis competition. And the swag bag was incredible. This was a beautiful, like really generous tray that they included with a lighter and papers. And the tray has a magnetic seal on it. So you can grind and then close it back up. So anyway, what are you smoking on today? What are you seshing with today? Let me get out my grinder and start working on that. Maybe I should show this to you. I don't know if you can. It's kind of on my lap today. There. Oh, good. You can see it. Okay, great. Perfect. I can see parts of my. You know what would be great? I'm going to move this stuff right here. I'm going to get my studio kind of together. It's beautiful to have this space to work in. I'm grateful for it. So I don't really want to, I'm not trying to sing bad, but, I want to be able to do some demonstrations in here and stuff. And I also kind of want it to be like a very multi-useful space. So making it anybody in the audience who has experience setting up little like YouTube studios in their house. I've watched videos on this, people. Flowermate, shout out Flowermate. So I know that there are people who specialize in creating awesome spaces. Okay, I don't want to wear this hat the whole time because I wanted to remind everybody about the Emerald Cup and about how you can you should apply to be a judge because today is the deadline. Today, there it is in the lining of the hat. Isn't that awesome? We have some of these hats from this company, and they are just ridiculously cool. They do amazing collabs with artists, and it's just super duper rad. All right. You know what else is super duper rad? Rep Your State of Mind, my cannabis advocacy apparel brand. Rep Your State of Mind is very, very cool. Also embroidered, also cool. Here is a sweatshirt that I designed for what? The San Francisco 49ers, my husband's team. OBS. He's from the Bay Area. I'm from San Diego. So if I talk NFL right now, I might cry. I used to be a huge NFL fan. You guys don't even know. I used to be a cheerleader, not in the NFL, like in high school and elementary school. And I love football. And I was always captain of the cheerleaders because I actually knew what was going on in football and could call the right cheers during, whether or not we're defense, whether or not we're offense, whether or not we need to hold that line, or whether or not we got a touchdown. Like you have to know what's going on in the game to be cheering appropriately. So there's that. I love to just stuff weed into this grind. Anyways, it's a mill. Mill, don't grind. I think that the 49ers is a great team. I used to follow football intensely. I used to play fantasy. I used to commissioner my fantasy team for like 5 years off and on with my friend Katie. Shout out, Katie. Woo, hey, baby. If you're, I'm going to send this to you. And we had so much fun. I mean, we would give out awards for like, if you run a fantasy football team and it's a money team, you know, we would give out awards and money for like, if your quarterback got the most, who was the most winning quarterback that week, got a trophy or money, or like they just, you know, for when we were doing it at our work, we would just give them like a little thing to put on their desk, send out any. You know, I wouldn't say I'm one now because they moved to LA. And as a San Diegan, I got to say that I basically just hate LA. Like, I basically just hate LA. I don't live in San Diego now, so I really shouldn't hold a grudge. My team is there now. You know, my team, the Chargers, and I have to get over it. And I'll tell you specifically why. I'm really planning to get over it. I'm specifically planning to get over my Charger feelings about them moving to LA. Anybody who's an NFL fan whose team has fucking moved, like, let me know. The is because I was talking to somebody on Instagram this morning who is an awesome roller. Shout out Omar B. Follow him at Omar, all dots in between, O.M.A. I believe, B on Instagram if you want to see a cool roller who does awesome rolls. And he does this tip art that's just fucking incredible. I love it. And he did Raiders today, and obviously seems like some kind of Raiders fan himself. And I tapped into his DMs and was like, hey, I sent him my Raider version of this sweatshirt that says Las Vegas state of mind, because, you know, they moved to Vegas, right? And I'm hoping he'll take me up on it, and I'll send him a sweatshirt. So if you know an NFL player that supports cannabis and wants a rad sweatshirt, I've got them for a lot of the teams, not all the teams, box of these. And I love papers that come with tips. I usually have Lazy Susans around too, but I like it when they come. Okay, you can't see this, God, lighting. Can you see the little tip booklet in there? This top part is a tip booklet and the bottom part is the paper booklet. And I have to say something about the Vibes tips that I have come to enjoy is how wide they are, because wide tips make for a very long, it sounds dirty, makes for a very long tip. And the long tip is easier to hold. I do love that. It is cooler. The smoke is cooler. So now, honestly, it's just easier for my fingers to hold it. Now that I kind of know which companies have wider tips and which have thinner tips, I guess you could say, or shorter, narrower tips, I'm definitely like, oh, I like the wider ones. You can always buy all this at shops, you know, but the wide papers, the fatty size papers together with the wider tip is really luxurious smoking. And smoking is a luxury. I want it accessible for everyone. I want cannabis to be accessible to everyone, but it is pretty real that smoking is a luxury. Speaking of smoking, you guys know anything about like THCA flower? This is controversial. We're just gonna sling it here on the channel. We're gonna talk controversy. So, you know, THCA flower is something that is now becoming available around the United States. And the problem with the education levels of people is that they just have no like idea that THCA flower is weed. This is THCA flower. This is THCA flower. Even if you call it hemp THCA flower, it's the same thing. The way that cannabis works, the cannabinoids in it, is that when it's growing as a flower, it grows in the trichomes the acid form. THCA stands for THC acid, tetrahydrocannabinol acid. So like when you heat up the cannabis by smoking it or by vaporizing it, where's my vaporizer? Probably in my pocket. Where's Michelle's vaporizer, guys? It's always in her pocket. Okay, so let's put the venti there. So like the THCA is the cannabinoid that exists in the trichomes while the plant is growing. As a matter of fact, it starts off as the chemical evolution of THCA, CBD, and all the cannabinoids in cannabis begins as an acid that I can't remember the name of it, like olive tonic acid. Don't quote me. Not a chemist, but there's a chemical in the flower, and it starts off that way, and then the flower turns it into the plant turns it into CG, cannabigerolic acid, or cannabigerolic acid, which is called the mother cannabinoid. And then further from CBG, that's when you finally see, or CBGA, I should say. God, it's so confusing. We all shorten it to like CBG, the neutral version, but it's really CBGA. Okay, I wish I had a whiteboard. We have some kind of olive tonic acid situation up here. This is the very beginning of what goes into making your and then it transforms. This is all happening on the plant while it's growing, naturally. No chemists are involved. This is God, people. We've got THC, we got this acid situation, then we have CBGA, cannabigerolic acid, and then CBGA turns into, or is transformed into, all the other cannabinoids you've ever heard about: THCA, CBDA, CBL, I guess, CBDV. That's another one that comes out right now. Oh my God. Hi, Renee. Welcome to the live. So we're in the middle of it. We're talking THCA flower. I just decided to just get right in there. So CBGA turns into THCA. That's what's in this flower. What creates THC is not like necessarily the flower nature right off the bat. It contains THCA flower. What creates THC in the flower is heat and time. So if you have fresh flower that was just dried, there is hardly any THC in it. And if you recall the Farm Bill is 0.3% THC in the flower. So that's already the case. Any flower that grows, CBD, hemp flower, THC, rich dispensary flower, they all do this same thing: CBG, THCA, CBDA, all CBDV, all that stuff. And so all flower is like, if it contains THC, THC flower, it's all the same. Hemp is cannabis. Cannabis is hemp. Oh my God, I have to look at the chat because I can see it. Thanks for being here. This is a great conversation already. Thank you so much. I can't wait to share this. I've been here since the beginning, cooking away. Oh, good. I'm glad. Oh, hi, Marcos. Good job breaking down the ABCs of THC. Yeah, absolutely. Well, with THCA flower on the market, confusing the fuck out of people. I mean, honestly, all you have to do is look at any post with people being confused about THCA fucking flower. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that is real weed. And the truth is, because of the Farm Bill, it's legal to sell in the United States right now. You can literally get a license to sell hemp. You have to get a license to sell hemp. And then your hemp flower must test under THC levels of 0.3%. Guess what? That's not that hard to do when your flower is natural and naturally occurs containing THC that is not converted into THC yet, no heat. It's going to test under 0.3%. That's natural. That's normal. This is the state of education in our country, that these laws were passed and nobody said anything because I don't know. People are confused. I spent all morning trying to think of something that I could compare this to. So if you guys think of something that like is affected by heat, like cooking, like anything that we work with normally that works the same way, I would love to think of something to help people understand this. You have to cook a lot of things to change them into something edible or useful. And that's basically what we're doing with cannabis. And without adding the heat, we are working with THCA flower. The flower, I could eat this, and it won't get me high. But we're going to smoke this, and we're definitely going to get high. All right, I'm done going off about THCA flower. You know what I mean? It's legal right now. A lot of people think that that it's a loophole that's going to be closed by the federal government. But why would they? You know what I mean? Honestly, and I heard that there are people, oh my God, that's too big. Look at that. Look at that. It's huge. That there are people who are like selling THC hemp flower in totally illegal places legally because it's legal. Oh my God, we're just gonna roll like a crazy fatty and we're just not even gonna care how much falls out. Okay, here we go. Picking it up. You know, my friend Marcos, who was on the live here just a second ago, is a professional roller, you guys. He is a pro. I hardly want him to see me doing this. I hardly want you to see me doing this, Marcos. I hope you're proud of me because I do appreciate you teaching me how to roll back in the day. The thing about having such a little tip though is that it's a problem. Like you really want to have like a big tip so you can roll a big fatty. I do like rolling big fatties, but I do like the long tip because it makes smoking so much easier. Oh my God, you guys. All right, so we talked about THCA flower. You know you have to get your judging application in for the cup. I broke down like that hemp is cannabis and cannabis is hemp. And I just need to get this rolled so that we can smoke it and sesh together. What kind of things do you want to hear me talk about as I sesh live for 30 days? I am excited to talk about books. I'm excited to talk about rolling, which is new to me this year. Thank you, Marcos. CGO Lifestyles, follow him on Instagram all over the place. Go to his events. I am excited to talk about my own designs for Rep Your State of Mind and get this more out there and see what you guys want in terms of more designs. I would, you know, I have a lot of cannabis friends and we talk about like designs for t-shirts kind of constantly. Honestly, it's kind of fun to talk about designs for t-shirts with my friends. And I think that like when you open it up to the public to give you feedback, that's when you hear what you need to hear about your products. And so I feel very vulnerable asking you right now, like, what do you want to hear from me here on YouTube? What kind of things you guys want to hear me review canna books? Do you want to like hear me talk about cannabinoids? I have a whole lesson plan on ingestion methods that I want to share. I don't know. You're just going to what you get. I think that this like cannabis like joint is going to be I have to roll a new tip for it. It's so fat. So fat. So fat. All right. Marcos, I can't possibly think about rolling for people live. I would freak. I mean, it's already enough pressure to roll live on YouTube. I don't know how you do it, man. I really don't. Anyways, thanks for joining. So I'm going to roll another tip for this. I'm going to make it like really big, or I'm going to get a big tip. Hold on. The tips I like. I really like tips. These wooden tips that I got from my friend Super 66 Super Smoke, who works with Marcos over there in Sacramento, rolling out the hash holes. I love organic tips. I love these colorful tips. I like the fatty size. This is a slightly smaller size than fatty, but they really help with making your joints like much more enjoyable. I wish I had a little bit of tape or glue for this. Should just roll it again. But let's light it. Let's light it and smoke it. Let's light it and smoke it. It's ugly. You guys, this is so ugly. Practice makes perfect. Maybe for 30 days of seshing, I'm just going to practice rolling a nice joint, getting my ass together, and smoking it with you, because that's 30 days of seshing right there. My friend Kirsty calls this toking and talking, which I think is cute. And because she grew this cannabis that we are smoking, jelly donuts, we are going to dedicate this first puff to you, Kirsty. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for my live today. I would love to hear in the comments below what kinds of things you want to hear over the next few days. Like I said, I'm a certified cannabis health coach and educator. I can go off about terpenes, cannabinoids, how the plants grow, how to make your own tinctures, how to make your own topicals, how to make your own suppositories, how to have better sex with them. This is all stuff I've already talked about on my channel. I've never talked about football on my channel, though. I don't think ever. So let me just end this video with a shout out for Rep Your State of Mind, which is my cannabis advocacy apparel and accessories brand. If you want to support me, if you want to support cannabis, if you want to support your state, your NBA team, or your province in Canada, I've got you. I've got you. Visit repyourstateofmind.com today and pick up your hat, your hoodie, your t-shirt, your tank top. I hope to have more for you in the future. But that's what you can get there today, your tote bag. And support me, support cannabis, support legislation in your area, support normal and marijuana law reform, and patients for safe access. That is everything I do with Rep Your State of Mind. I sell all of these advocacy apparels and accessories for you to be who you are and to rep your state of mind where you live, to support your friends. And if you think from me, I'd love to see it. Go ahead and tag me at Michelle Crawford, @CannaCurious on Instagram, and at Rep Your State of Mind on Instagram as well. Thanks so much for joining me here on my live today. See you again tomorrow, probably around 1 o'clock. Gotta make this official. Gotta buckle down and be here. Can't wait to see you guys then. Oh my God. Let's go.